Welcome, seekers of wisdom. Today, we'll explore the core of the Buddha's teachings, the Four Noble Truths. These profound insights form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, offering a path to liberation from suffering. Let's begin with the Buddha's own words from the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Now this, monks, is the noble truth of suffering. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair are suffering. Association with the unbeloved is suffering. Separation from the loved is suffering. Not getting what is wanted is suffering. In short, the five clinging aggregates are suffering. The first noble truth acknowledges that suffering, or dukkha, is an inherent part of existence. But what does this mean in our daily lives? Imagine a young prince named Siddhartha, living in luxury, sheltered from the harsh realities of life. One day, he ventures beyond the palace walls and encounters an old man, a sick person, and a corpse. These sights shock him, revealing the inescapable nature of suffering that affects all beings. The Buddha continues, "And this, monks, is the noble truth of the origination of suffering, the craving that makes for further becoming, accompanied by passion and delight, relishing now here and now there, i.e., craving for sensual pleasure, craving for becoming, craving for non-becoming." The second noble truth identifies the cause of suffering as craving or attachment. We constantly desire pleasant experiences and resist unpleasant ones, creating a cycle of dissatisfaction. Consider the story of Kisagotami, a grieving mother who lost her only child. Desperate to bring her son back to life, she carried his lifeless body from house to house, seeking medicine. The Buddha compassionately instructed her to collect mustard seeds from homes where no one had ever died. As she searched, Kisagotami realized the universality of death and suffering, finally accepting her loss. Moving on to the third noble truth, the Buddha declares, "And this, monks, is the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, the remainderless fading and cessation, renunciation, relinquishment, release, and letting go of that very craving." This truth offers hope. Suffering can end. By releasing our attachments and cravings, we can attain a state of peace and liberation known as nirvana. The story of Angulimala, a notorious murderer who became a monk, illustrates this truth. Despite his violent past, Angulimala found redemption through the Buddha's teachings, eventually achieving enlightenment and freedom from suffering. Finally, the fourth noble truth provides a practical path to end suffering. And this, monks, is the noble truth of the way of practice leading to the cessation of suffering. Precisely this noble eightfold path: right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This eightfold path offers a comprehensive guide for living an ethical and mindful life, leading to the cessation of suffering. To better understand this path, let's look at the Buddha's advice to his son, Rahula. Whenever you want to do a bodily action, you should reflect on it. This bodily action I want to do, would it lead to self-affliction, to the affliction of others, or to both? Would it be an unskillful bodily action with painful consequences, painful results? This teaching emphasizes the importance of mindful reflection in our actions, speech, and thoughts, key components of the Eightfold Path. As we conclude, remember that the Four Noble Truths are not mere philosophical concepts, but practical insights to be experienced and realized in our daily lives. The Buddha encouraged us to investigate these truths for ourselves, as he said to the Kalamas, "Don't go by reports, by legends, by traditions, by scripture, by logical conjecture, by inference, by analogies, by agreement, through pondering views, by probability, or by the thought. This contemplative is our teacher. When you know for yourselves that these qualities are skillful, these qualities are blameless, these qualities are praised by the wise, these qualities, when adopted and carried out, lead to welfare and to happiness, then you should enter and remain in them. So, I encourage you to reflect on these Four Noble Truths, apply them to your life, and discover the path to liberation for yourself. May you find peace and freedom from suffering.